And we are live. Let's see. I can see a few of us are in. Welcome, Adam, Edits, and Daisy. What's going on? Let me know, guys. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hey, man like nerd says, sup, bro? How's it going, man? Let me know. Can you hear me? I have no idea how many of us are going to be joining today. I don't know if it's going to be 10 of us or 100 of us. I've got no idea. It's actually my first time ever doing streams during the day. Edit says, yes, thank you very much. Guys, talk to me, talk to me. How are we doing? How's half term been so far? For anybody who wants us to get going right away, we're going to be starting at 5 past. Just giving people a chance to join. You know how we do. Today we're going to be doing the November 2017 paper 2 at Excel. Yep, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, Nerd said, bro, I used your videos for my O-level CAIE preparation. They were so helpful. Hoping to get an A grade. Hey, my pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you very much. Have you guys seen, by the way, I dropped the video that you were asking for. The whole course in 10 hours. We dropped it. We dropped it. So hopefully that's helpful. Nice to see a few more of us joining on the channel. I'm going to get my tunes back on. Huh? I'm good. I'm good, thanks. Sorry about that, guys. We're back. We're back. Hello, Aliek. Hello, BBN Animations. Hey, Hassan says, made it in time. Perfect. Baller Gaming says, I'm cooked. Not today, my friend. The comeback is on. The comeback is on. Hafid says, what year is this? This is the 2017 November paper. BG says, I hope. Kavisha Lorkin says, hi. Hello, hello. Silence says, Usby, whatever that means. Hey, Sauna's here as well. Hello, Sauna. Adam's saying hello to Sauna as well, I'm guessing. A couple of people in the academy. Mr. J says, Unc, please do AQA Foundation. Unfortunately, we're not going to be doing AQA. We're doing EdXL just because the most people do EdXL. And also because AQA is a bit funny with copyright and stuff. May says, thanks for doing the lives. By the way, hey, my pleasure, my pleasure. Guys, we're going to be starting at just 5 past in about 4 minutes. Ah, cool. Sona says, I've been busy with wedding season to join Live Academy, but I've been watching the live still on the site. Hey, awesome. I'm guessing your kind of beauty thing is like helping people get ready for weddings and stuff. That sounds cool, eh? Um, Quite a few people asking about AQA and whether we're going to be doing AQA. The thing which I will say, guys, is these EdXL papers are still super helpful for AQA. They're still super helpful. The formatting of the papers is a little bit different, but the content is like 95% the same. So don't worry about it if you're doing AQA. These are still going to be super beneficial. Jeslyn Gigi says hello. Hello, Jeslyn. Ah, Sona said yes, got my family ready. Ah, that's so nice, eh? That's so nice. Daisy says, I can't lie, that paper was diabolical. Paper one is going to cost me a grade. Hey, a lot of people, Daisy, were saying that paper one was difficult. That's partially why I'm running these sessions over half term. It's a little bit of an academic comeback thing. I was thinking about doing like a course, but I thought I want to keep this free so everybody can join. Does mean that it's going to be a little bit busy. The chat's going to be popping off a bit more. But that's perfect. That's perfect. Um, BBN Animation says, did you do at Excel Math GCSE? I actually did AQA back in the day, so it was a long time ago. It was a long time ago when I did mine back in, what, in 2016 or something? Yeah, I think 2016. Amy Phillips says, start. Amy, just 3 minutes. We're just giving people a chance to join. For anybody who's new, welcome, welcome. The format is basically going to be, I'm going to go through the paper. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to do each of the questions, and then I will go through the answers. The more marks a question is worth, the more time I will give you. And hopefully you can read that up there, guys. I'm going to be live every day this week, apart from Wednesday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I didn't actually put this in the announcement, so I'm going to post another announcement video. But you can see Saturday and Sunday, I'm also going to be live 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to be doing past papers every day. I'm going to specify in a post which is about to come out. It's going to come out very soon. I'm going to make it this afternoon, which days we're doing foundation, which days we're doing higher. We're going to be doing mainly higher, to be honest, but we will be doing a couple of foundations. Mohammed says, sir, why are you doing such an old paper? Can you please go through recent papers? So we're going to be going through papers all of this week. So we're going to cover a lot of papers. The reason we're doing this paper is because it has a lot of good questions based on the topics which came up in paper one. So that's why we're doing this paper. The other reason is it doesn't mean kind of that the more recent papers are more likely to repeat in coming years. It's actually the reverse, right? So doing this paper is actually better than doing, say, the 2023 paper. The other reason is because I know most of you have already done the 2023 paper. For anybody wondering, I'm currently live on TikTok and YouTube, so you can watch on either. We currently have 320 of us on TikTok, 80 of us on YouTube. To anybody who is watching on the TikTok, just so you know, I focus on the YouTube chat more, just because I can see it more easily. So if you want your questions answered and that kind of thing, I'm going to be far more likely to be able to see them if you're watching on the YouTube. I'm going to get my music playing. Hopefully you can't hear it, guys. I just need you to let me know in the chat. I'm going to go silent for about 15 seconds to see if the music is too loud. I need to keep it quiet enough so you guys can't hear it. Otherwise, it's going to get flagged. The stream's going to get flagged. So, guys, I'm going to go silent for 15 seconds. And please let me know in the chat if you can hear the music. Can anybody hear it? Let me know in the chat. That was long enough. Hassan says, can't hear. Everyday Boxing says no. Hanana Banana says no. Okay, wonderful, guys. Wonderful, wonderful. That is great to hear. Without further ado, then, let's get going with this paper. So we're going to go through pretty much all of the questions. The more marks it's worth, the more time I'm going to give you. For anybody wondering what we're listening to at the moment, the previous song that was just playing was Again by Wanda Cole. I'm going to be dropping the My GCSE Maths playlist. It's been highly requested. Lots of Afro beats, let me tell you. Lots of Afro beats. Okay, question number 1 says solve 5x minus 6 is equal to 3 times by x minus 1. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to go through it, probably about 30 seconds, and then I'm going to go through the answer. Now, the thing that I will say, guys, is even if you don't have the paper printed out, please at least think about how you would do the questions. That is how you're going to get the most out of these sessions. You can also, maybe you're sitting on the bus, maybe you're on the sofa, maybe you're in bed. You can also just watch. That's also going to be beneficial, but it's going to be most helpful if you at least think about how to go through it. Okay. Cue number 1. Solve 5x minus 6 is equal to 3 times by x minus 1. To anybody who's doing foundation, the first part of this paper is going to be super beneficial because it's that overlap section. So for anybody who doesn't know, the first part of the higher paper is the second part of the foundation paper. So as we're going through the first part of this paper, it's still going to be super beneficial. Okay, let's go through question number 1 then, team. Let's have a look. I've given you a little bit of time. The question says solve 5x minus 6 is equal to 3 times by x minus 1 in brackets. What does solve mean? It means that we need to find the value of x. So step number 1, let's simplify this by expanding these brackets on the right-hand side of the equation. So what are we going to have? We're going to have 5x minus 6 is equal to, then we're going to do 3 times by x is going to be 3x, and then we're going to do 3 times by minus 1 is minus 3. Next step, to get the x on its own, what are we going to do? We're going to move all of the x's to the left-hand side of the equation and all of the numbers to the right. So I'm going to start off by subtracting 3x from both sides. Minus 3x minus 3x, moving the 3x to the left. We're going to have 2x minus 6 is equal to negative 3. Next step, we're going to move that -6 over to the right-hand side. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. That's going to leave us with 2x is equal to -3 plus 6. You can do it on the calculator if you want. It's going to be 3. And next step, to get the x on its own, what are we going to do? Now the x is being multiplied by 2. So we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 2. We're going to get that x is equal to 3 divided by 2 is going to be 1.5. You could also write that as 3 over 2 if you wanted. The topic there, for anybody who wants to recap it, is solving equations. Specifically, it's solving linear equations. This also involves expanding brackets right here. So expanding brackets. Next up, question number 2, a little bit more involved than that first one. This time we have a man like Emily buying a pack of 12 bottles of water. Nice to see. 130 of us watching on the channel. Absolutely beautiful. Guys, to anybody who is messing up the chat or putting spam in there, we have a bunch of moderators on here. You will be removed from the live stream. So please don't try and mess up the chat. Daisy said, man like Emily. Exactly. Question number 2, guys. Nice to see quite a few of us on the TikTok. What's about 300? Okay, wicked, wicked. Question number 2. NJ, good to have you. Wonderful. Okay, question number 2. Emily buys a pack of 12 bottles of water. The pack costs £5.64. Emily sells all 12 of the bottles for 50 pence each. We're then asked to work out Emily's percentage profit, giving our answer correct to 1 decimal place. How do we work out percentage profit? Well, we're going to do our profit divided by our costs times by 100. That is going to convert it into a percentage. Let's go ahead and work it out. Or how are we going to work out our profit? Well, we sell 12 bottles for 50 pence each. So firstly, we're going to work out the amount of money that we have coming in. We're going to do 12 times by 50 pence, which we can think of as 12 times by 0.5. We can do that on the calculator. It's going to be £6. So this is the amount of money we have coming in. What about our profit then? Well, profit is going to be the money we have coming in, subtract our costs, which here is £5.64. So we're going to do our £6 minus £5.64. We can do that on the calculator. It's going to be 36 pence. Now, where do we go from there? Well, we have our 36 pence. We're going to divide that by our costs. What's our costs? Well, we bought it for £5.64. So we're going to do 0.36 over, oh, that looks like a 6, over 5.64. Then we're going to times that one by 100. I'm going to bring that into my calculator real quick, guys. 0.36 divided by 5.64 times by 100. I type that into the calculator. I'm going to get 6.382, etc. Now, the question does say to give our answer correct to 1 decimal place. So I'm going to round this. How do I round this to 1 dp? Well, I'm going to look at the second number after the decimal point. It's an 8. Because it's 5 or above, we're going to round up. So we're going to turn that 3 into a 4. We are going to get 6.4, giving us our answer then of 6.4%. That is our percentage profit. If you got that one, nicely done. We're going to move on. Actually, no, 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 3. We're going to move on to question number 3. We have a man like Hazmit walking around a circle with a diameter of 80 meters. We're told that there are 8 points equally spaced on the circumference of the circle, and then we're asked to find the distance between each of the points. I'm going to have a quick look at the chat and see what's popping off while you guys have a think about this. Welcome May, welcome Maria, welcome Skep, welcome Gog, nicely done. Welcome Hassan, good to have you on. Welcome BG Baller Gaming, welcome Ziggy T. Nice to see you on here, NJ as well as usual. Thank you very much for moderating. Yo, Tala, good to have you. Okay, okay. I can see a lot of people dropping man like Hazmeet in the chat. Hazen Barani, welcome. Okay, guys, question number 3. Please drop your answer in the chat when you're ready for this one, guys, and we'll go through it. This one shouldn't take too long. It's only worth a couple of marks. May says, man like Matt. Hello, Timmy. Hello, Val Ely says, hello, sir. Sorry I'm late. No worries at all. Guys, let me know when you've got an answer. Phony says 10. Javi says 10. What do we think, team? Adam says 10 pi. Wonderful. Let's have a look. Question number 3. So we have Hazmeet walking once around a circle with a diameter of 80 meters. What's the diameter? It's the length all the way across the circle. Let me extend that a little bit. Oh, there we go. So that's 80 meters. It says there are 8 points equally spaced on the circumference of the circle. Find the distance that Hazmeet walks between one point and the next point. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to do our circumference divided by the number of points. So we're going to do our circumference, and then we're going to divide it by the number of points. And the reason is because they are equally spaced. The reason is because they're equally spaced. So how do we work out circumference? This one's on the formula book this year. We can use the fact that the circumference is equal to pi times by diameter. So the circumference of this circle, then the diameter is 80. We're going to have that the circumference in this case is going to be equal to 80 times by pi, which we can just write as 80 pi together. Now, dividing this by 8 then, we're going to do 80 pi divided by 8. You can type that into the calculator if you want, and it's going to give you 10 pi as your answer. So the distance there is going to be 10 pi. That's 80 pi divided by 8. Moving on to this next part then, I'm just going to go through this because it's kind of on 2 parts of the page. The question says 4 of the points are moved as shown in the diagram below. Hazmeet walks once around the circle again. Has the mean distance that Hazmeet walks between one point and the next point changed? You must give a reason for your answer. Guys, let me know in the chat. What do you think for this one? What do you think for this one? Has it changed? Javi says, guys, how old is he? I'm 24. I know I look a little bit younger. Well, that's what you guys seem to say anyway, but yeah, 24. Okay, R4 says no. Idris says no. Mohammed says no. Sola says no. Yeah, exactly, guys. So, has the mean distance changed? No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. Why? Because to work out the mean, we do the total divided by the number of numbers. In this case, well, the total is still the same. So the total is still 80 pi. That's not changed. And what else can we say? The number of points is still the same. So even though now the distance between each of the points isn't the same, the average distance is going to be the same. The average distance is going to be the same. Okay, guys, moving on to question number 4 now. 5 seconds to screenshot this if you want. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 4. Some of these comments are so funny, man. Oh, some of these comments are so funny. A lot of people have also been asking my grades. I can see a lot on the TikTok. So, and also whether I'm a teacher. So I'm not a teacher in a school. I've been tutoring for a very long time. Yeah, a very long time. GCSE grades, I got 11 A stars. A levels, I got 3 A stars. And that was maths, further maths, and economics. And then degree-wise, my degree's in economics, and I went to the London School of Economics. Because I know there's a lot of questions coming in the chat about that, so I just want to say it. Get out of the way. Question number 4 then. Let's have a look at this one. It says there are only blue, yellow, and green cubes in a bag. There are twice as many blue cubes as yellow cubes, and 4 times as many green cubes as blue cubes. Hannah takes at random a cube from the bag. Work out the probability that Hannah takes a yellow cube. Question number 4. What do we think, team? Have we got an answer? Have we got an answer? And guys, I'm going to make a request after this because somebody is just, yeah, I'm going to make a request after this question. Let's see. Ryan says, so would you have to substitute in? Okay, interesting. Guys, let me know in the chat if you're ready for this one and we're going to go through it. Yeah, a couple of people asking my name. Yeah, it's Matt. It's Matt. Edits is ready. Anybody else ready for this one? Let me know in the chat. Ellie Belly's ready. What a name. May's ready. Okay, let's have a look. Two different ways to do this, or two main ways to do this. One is with algebra, and one is with ratios. So you could either do this with ratios, do the ratio of blue to yellow and green to blue, and then combine them, or we can do it with algebra. Let's have a look. So there are only blue cubes, yellow cubes, and green cubes in a bag. There are twice as many blue as yellow. So we're going to say that yellow is X. And then what does that mean? It's going to mean that blue, which is twice as many, is going to be 2x. So if we say, so if yellow is equal to x, then what would blue be? There are twice as many blue cubes. So blue is going to be equal to 2x. Now let's read the part about the green and the blue. Well, it says there are 4 times as many green as there are blue. There are 2x blue. So there's going to be and green. Well, that's going to be equal to 4 times as many as the blue. So it's going to be equal to 8x. It's going to be equal to 8x. So then it says Hannah takes at random a cube from the bag. Work out the probability that Hannah takes a yellow cube. Well, how many yellows do we have? Or how do we work out a probability? We do the number of ways of choosing that one out of the total number of things that we could choose. How many ways are there to choose yellow? It's going to be X. How many ways are there to choose in total? Well, in total, there's going to be X plus 2X plus our 8X is going to be 11X. Now we can simplify this fraction. We can divide the top and bottom both by x. So divide by x, divide by x. What are we going to get? We're going to end up with 1 over 11. We're going to end up with 1 over 11. Guys, if you got that one, absolutely brilliant job. Absolutely brilliant job. 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 5, except we're going to skip this one and we're going to go on to 6, just because it's a bit awkward to do on the stream. Guys, I have a request. I have a request. So I have just seen that somebody is trolling and left a 2-star review on the thing. I didn't even ask anybody to leave a review this time. And I've just got a notification. Look at that somebody left a 2-star review saying, very bad £1 fish. Guys, that is going to pull the average reviews down quite a lot, which is super annoying. So I'm going to post the link in the chat. And if people could review for me, if anybody hasn't left one already, because I know I've asked before and a lot of you guys have already left one. But if anybody could leave one, NJ, actually, if you could drop the link in the chat, I'll pin it. If anybody could leave one, I would really appreciate it because it's going to counter that 2-star review. Look, guys, who comments very bad £1 fish? Guys, come on, that's so annoying, eh? Thank you to anybody who has already left a review. NJ, if you could post the link to leave a Google review, I would really appreciate it. Yeah, Hassan said I'm crying. They're plotting and praying for your downfall for real. You didn't even ask for reviews. Guys, I didn't even ask. I didn't even ask. I think I can find the review link. How would I find it? Hassan, actually no, NJ, I'm gonna ask you to do it if you can. If you can put the review link in the chat. Otherwise it's in the description, but I think it's easier to find in the chat. Or I can do it maybe. I'll do it. And then guys, we're gonna go through this question just real quick. How am I gonna find it quickly? Let's do it this way. This way. Just one sec, guys. Won't be long, won't be long. Okay. I'm going to copy the link. Bosh. Put it in the chat. Bosh. Hopefully that will work. Hopefully that will work. So to anybody who was up for doing it, there we go. I've just pinned it. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, let's go through question 6 then. I know that took a while, and then I'll give a bit of time to do that after. I'll be able to hopefully see on my phone if people do leave reviews. Guys, I would appreciate it because that 2 stars is going to bring it down, man. Oh, well, whatever. Question number 6. P to the power of 3 times by P to the power of x is equal to P to the power of 9. Find the value of x. So this is going to be our laws of indices topic. And specifically, we're going to use the fact that when we have a base to a power and we times it by the same base to another power, we do what? We add the powers. So this question is basically saying, what do I have to add to my number 3 to get the number 9? So it's like saying 3 plus x is equal to 9, and then we can subtract 3 from both sides to get the value of x. X is going to be equal to 6. What about for this next one? Good job, Onyx. Good job, Edits. Good job, Maria. Good job, Media Unfiltered. Solar as well. Find the value of y for this next one. 7 to the power of 2 to the power of y is equal to 7 to the power of 10. This time, what do we know? By our laws of indices, if we have a base to a power and we raise it to another power, what do? We multiply those powers together. So in this case, 2 times by y is going to be equal to 10. So we have 2y equals 10. What does that mean about the value of y? Well, y is going to have to be equal to 5. Good job, Daisy. Good job, Skep. Good job, Maria. Good job to everybody who got that one. Next up, 100 to the power of a times by 1000 to the power of b can be written in the form 10 to the power of w. Show that w is equal to 2a plus 3b. A little bit of time to think about this one, guys, and then we're going to go through it. Thank you very much, Sol. Thank you very much, Gog, as well. I really appreciate it, guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much, May, as well. Thank you, Javi, as well. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, HZ. Guys, I appreciate it. The trolls will never win. Evil never wins in the end. Okay, let's have a look. How are we going to do this one? How are we going to do this one? Well, we need to convert this 100 to the power of a times by 1000 to the power of b into the form 10 to the power of w. So we need to find a way to rewrite 100 as 10 to the power of something and 1000 as 10 to the power of something. Well, 100 is equal to 10 to the power of 2, and 1000 is equal to 10 to the power of 3, right? So we can rewrite this as 100 to the power of a becomes 10 squared to the power of a, and 1000 to the power of b, I didn't mean to write the equals, and then times by 1000 is going to be 10 to the power of 3, and then raised to the power of b is going to be in the form 10 to the power of w. Now we can simplify this using the laws of indices that we mentioned before. A base to a power to another power, we times those powers together. We're going to have 10 to the power of 2a times by 10 to the power of 3b is equal to 10 to the power of w. Final step then, remember when we have a base to a power and we times it by the same base to another power, we add those powers together. So we're going to have 10 to the power of 2a plus 3b. That's going to be equal to 10 to the power of w. Now we've shown, because they're both the powers, that w is the power, that 2a plus 3b is also the power, and both have 10 as the base, then w is going to have to be equal to 2a plus 3b. Guys, if you got that one, wonderful job. Again, 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 7. We have 5 marks up for grabs in this one. 5 marks up for grabs. So it is a long one. I'm going to have another quick look at the chat. See how we're doing over on the TikTok. Now, nice to see a fair few of us on here. Welcome JLS. Welcome RSJ. Welcome User. Arjun. Welcome Leah. Welcome Sophia. Guys, great to have you all on. Great to have you all on. Okay. Mirage, very interesting question. Says, do you think picking further maths with further maths A level with grade 7 is a good idea? I'm going to be completely honest, and I'm going to say if you don't get a grade 9 in GCSE maths, I wouldn't recommend A-level further maths. A-level maths, absolutely. But if you're not working at a grade 9, or like a high grade 8 or something, then I wouldn't actually recommend A-level further maths, because let me tell you, it's a lot of maths, guys. A-level further maths is a lot of maths. Mirage said, "What about an 8? If you're getting a solid grade 8, then you could do it. Then you could do it. It's going to be tough though. It's going to be tough though." Question number 7. We have 5 marks in this one. It's a long one, so I'm going to give you a fair bit of time to go through it. Okay, guys, I'm going to run a little poll on the YouTube as well. How am I going to do this? There we go. Start poll. I'm going to say, should I just go through all the questions? Should I just go through all the questions? So, yes, don't give us time to do them. Then the other option is going to be no, give us time to work out. Because I don't know whether most of you have the paper printed out or are kind of working along properly and really trying to figure them out, or if you're just kind of chilling on the sofa watching me go through it. Because if most of you are just watching me, then I'll tend to go through a bit quicker and give a bit less time. But I personally think it would be better to give you time to go through it, to think about it. And this poll is close. This poll is close. 180 of us watching on the YouTube at the moment. And the majority means a lot. So 60 people have voted. It's currently 50-50. So should I just go through all the questions? Do you want me to give you time, or do you want me to just go through them? I have another question, which maybe we can answer in the chat, guys. I've changed the settings a bit on the chat today. I've made it so that you can only put one message every 5 seconds to stop people from spamming in the chat. And I've also made it subscriber only, also in the chat, to stop people from spamming in the chat. Is it better with the 5-second delay, or would you rather me take the 5-second delay off? So if you can answer that one in the chat, let me know, guys. Is it good with the delay, or does it make a bit less of a community feel? So better with the delay, or would you rather have no delay? Okay, a lot of people saying 5-second delay off. Okay, I'm going to have to set up another vote. So it was exactly 50-50 for the previous one. Exactly 50-50. And now I'm going to ask the next poll. The next poll is going to be, start the poll. The next poll is going to be, should we have the 5-sec delay on chat? Yes. To prevent spamming. No. It's nicer without the delay. Okay, I'm going to give time to respond to this poll. And then we will go through the question. I know I've given quite a long time for this. That is because it is a 5-mark question. Let's see what the poll's saying. If as many people as possible could vote, that would be amazing. A couple of people asking as well whether the streams are recorded. Yep, all of them are recorded, and they're uploaded to the live tab. They go straight up on the live tab on the YouTube channel. Okay. All right. Okay, most people are definitely saying 5-second delay. That's cool to see. So 90 votes, 80% of people are saying with the delay. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Ludan says the delay is good. Okay, guys, let's have a look at question 7. What are we going to do? The question says ABCD is a trapezium. We're asked to work out the size of angle CDA. So first of all, which angle is that? This is point C, point D, point A. So CDA is going to be this one down here. Let's call it X. Now, how are we going to work this out? I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, I really don't have too much information. And I'm not really used to finding angles in trapeziums. But we can see that they've made a right angle triangle here. So maybe we can make a right angle triangle here. If we do, then how could we go about working out the size of the angle? Well, we know that for right angle triangles, if we have 2 side lengths, then we can work out the size of one of the angles using trigonometry, so Cartoa. So I go ahead and I think about, okay, how could I work out 2 of the side lengths? First of all, I know that the height of my triangle is going to be 6. Why? Because that's the same as this 6 centimeters here. So this height is going to be 6. The height is the same all the way across. Now I'm going to think about, okay, how could I work out my hypotenuse, or how could I work out this length here? Well, I look at this length here, and I think the whole of the bottom is 24. This one at the top is 10. So what that means is that this side length here plus this side length is going to have to be equal to the difference. So I want to know if I can work out this side length, because if I can, then I can subtract this side length, and I can subtract this side length from 24, and I'm going to have this side length here. Then I can use SOHCAHTOA. So the new question then that we're trying to work out now is, how can I work out this side length here? Well, we might be able to see that we essentially have a right angle triangle where we have two side lengths and want the third one. What can we use? We can use Pythagoras. We can think of this as A, B, and C. What does Pythagoras tell us? It tells us that A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared, where A and B are our two side lengths and C is the hypotenuse. So we can say A squared plus B is 6, so 6 squared is equal to 7.5 squared. We can do A squared is equal to 7.5 squared minus 6 squared. And then we can square root both sides. We're going to have A is equal to, actually, no, let's calculate that first. So A squared is equal to 7.5 squared minus 6 squared. That's going to be equal to 81 over 4. What does that mean? It means that A is equal to the square root of that. Let's write it here. So A is equal to the square root of 81 over 4, which is going to be 9 over 2, which is going to be 4.5. And obviously do that on the calculator, guys. So now we've worked out that this side length here, down at the bottom, this A, is 4.5. Well, how is that helpful? Now we can work out this side length here. Why? Because it's going to be the whole of the bottom, which is 24, minus this length here, the 10 on the top, minus the 4.5 here. But just to prevent silly mistakes, actually not, just that's going to be 9.5. We can do that on the calculator. Absolutely no need to rush. Now that we have this, what can we do? Well, we can think of this now as a right angle triangle where we have two side lengths, the 6 and the 9.5, and we want to work out this angle x. I'm just going to write over all in green to make it a little bit clearer. Step number 1, using SOHCAHTOA, what are we going to do? We're going to write out SOHCAH and TOA, and we're going to label our side lengths. So opposite the angle in the question, we have the opposite. Opposite the right angle, we have the hypotenuse. Our other side is the adjacent. Now we need to select either SOHCAH or TOA. Let's stay as green. Which one are we going to do? Well, in this case, we have the opposite, and we have the opposite and the adjacent, so we're going to use TOA. What does TOA tell us? It tells us that tan of the angle, I'll write it out in full, so tan of the angle is equal to the opposite side divided by the adjacent. So we can say that tan of our angle is x is equal to our opposite side of 6 over our adjacent of 9.5. Now to find the value of x, what are we going to do, guys? We're going to do tan to the minus 1 of both sides. We're going to get x is equal to tan to the minus 1 of 6 over 9.5. 6 over 9.5. I'm going to bring that into the calculator, guys. What are we going to get? Tan to the minus 1, fraction button, 6 over 9.5. We type that in, we're going to get 32.275. 32.275, etc. Now rounding our answer to 1 decimal place, as it says in the question. What's that going to become? It's going to become not 3 point. It's going to become 32.3, because this is a 7, so we round up. Woof! That was long, guys, eh? That was long, no? Question number 7. That was a long one. That was a long one. If you got it, congratulations. Difficult question, long question. Hopefully it makes sense after I went through it. Guys, can you let me know in the chat, anybody who didn't get it, but it makes sense now? Can you let me know in the chat? Because ultimately, that's why I'm doing this one. Okay. Well, that's why I'm doing the streams, I mean, for people to make progress. Okay, we're going to move on now to question number 8. says use your calculator to work this out. Write down all the figures in your calculator display. Anybody who's following along at home, I'm going to go through it, or I'm just going to type it into the calculator and tell you what the answer is. Anybody who's going to ignore this question, number 8, because they don't have a calculator with them, get going on this next question at the bottom. So I'm going to type this into the calculator, guys, and tell you what the answer is going to be. So in order to do this, what are we going to do? We're going to click the square root button, followed by the fraction button, followed by sine 25, close bracket, plus sine 40, close bracket, over cos 25, close bracket, minus cos 40, close bracket. We type all of that in. This is what it's going to give us. So that's what I typed in. And this is what it's going to give us. I'm just going to hold that up for a few seconds. You can pause it if you want. That's what the answer is going to be. Let's see what it is. It says write down all the figures on your calculator to display. So we're going to go 2.7560 Then it says give your answer to part A correct to 2 decimal places. Another rounding question, a bit weird to be honest that they have so many, but how do we round to 2DP? We look at our 3rd decimal place. Here it's a 6. Because it's 5 or above, we're going to round up. So this 5 is going to become a 6. We're going to have 2.76 to 2 decimal places. Okay, moving on now to question number 9. Mohammed says, sir, the digits you showed us are flipped. So, yeah, sorry. I thought that as I was holding it up, I thought maybe it would be flipped. But you can imagine, to be honest, it just looked the same as what I wrote on the screen. Okay, gonna have a quick look at how we're doing over on the TT. Okay, very cool. About 250 of us. To anybody who is watching on the TikTok, consider coming over to the channel. I'm focusing on the chat a little bit more over there, just because it's a bit more organized on the screen. It's easier for me to see. There's currently about 200 of us on each. 200 of us on each. Question number 9. People hate these kind of questions in general. Let's see what we can do. And also to anybody who's new, welcome to the team. You can see that I'm going to be live this week, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, basically every day apart from Wednesday, because I've got some stuff I need to do on Wednesday. I'm also going to be live the day on Monday evening and Tuesday evening. Monday evening, I'm going to do 4 hours of lives, 1 foundation paper, 1 higher paper. Tuesday evening, I'm going to do 2 higher papers, 1 foundation paper, the same as in the build up to paper 1 when we crushed it. Okay. Question number 9. Guys, let me know in the chat when you've got an answer to this one, and we are going to go through it. Question number 9. When you have an answer, drop it in the chat for me, and we're going to go through it. Cue number 9. What are we saying, team? Anybody ready? Chat is speculating that I've got a date on Wednesday. I can tell you I do not have a date on Wednesday. It'd be nice if I did, but I don't have a date on Wednesday. I got some stuff to do, some business to attend to. Okay, cue number 9. Nobody's put ready in the chat yet. Nobody's put ready in the chat. Is anybody ready? Or has nobody done this question? May said I did. Okay, let's go through it then. Let's go through it. Edits. Okay, Farzan's ready. Let's go through it then. Let's go through it. Thank you, Elias. Thank you, everybody who's just dropped it in the chat. Let's have a look. Yesterday, it took 5 cleaners 4.5 hours to clean all the rooms in a hotel. There are only 3 cleaners to clean all the rooms in the hotel today. Each cleaner is paid £8.20 for each hour or part of an hour that they work. How much will each cleaner be paid? Okay, guys, so we need to know how many hours each of the cleaners is going to work. Then we can round it up and multiply it to £8.20. So how much do each of them work? Step number 1, let's work out the total amount of hours required to clean the hotel. Well, if on the first day it took 5 hours each, 4.5 hours, sorry, 5 cleaners each, 4.5 hours, how much total time of effort did it take? Well, 5 cleaners, each working 4.5 hours. We're going to do 5 times by 4.5. That's going to be 22.5. Use the calculator for that. And then we're going to do, okay, well, if that's the total hours required, so that's total hours needed. How can we work out the amount if we have 3 cleaners? Well, we can divide that by 3. So we can do 22.5 divided by 3. That's going to be 7.5. Let me just check that on the calculator. Yeah, 7.5. So that's going to be for each cleaner. Now it does say they get £8.20 for each hour or part of an hour. So this 0.5 is going to mean that they actually get paid for 8 hours. So we can do 8 times by £8.20. That's going to be 65.60, I think. 8 times £8.20. Yeah, 65.60. And that is going to be our answer to this one. That question, guys, is technically direct proportion is the topic. So direct proportion. I know a lot of people struggle with this one. If that one didn't make sense, don't worry too much. People find that one really hard. Okay, we're going to move on now to question number 10. This one I would really like in the chat, guys. Question number 10A. Between which 2 times does a car travel at its greatest speed? Before we do this one, before you put it in the chat, I have a question or a request, another request, which is basically, guys, can you please let me know when you hear me clap? So I want to know, there's always a delay on the streams by a few seconds. I want to know how long the stream delay is. So I'm going to clap my hands. And when I actually clap my hands, I would like you to put clap in the chat, to write clap in the chat. So I'm going to say, okay, 3, 2, 1, clap. So when you hear the clap, put clap in the chat for me. Ah, okay. There's basically no delay. Yeah, there's no delay. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you, Onyx. Thank you, Scarlet the Gamer. Thank you, Ludan. Thank you, Ash Zeno. Thank you, Faith, Ray, Charlotte, Glue. To anybody who's running a bit behind time, consider refreshing, you know, like the button in the browser at the top. If you refresh the page, you'll be caught up right to the front of the stream. I think just as the stream goes, some people get a little bit of like a 5-10 second delay. So if you want to refresh the page, yeah. Okay, question 10. Between which 2 times does a car travel at its greatest speed? Question number 10. Here is part of a distance time graph. Between which 2 times does a car travel at its greatest speed? Well, it's going to be traveling at its greatest speed when the change in distance with respect to time is the highest. What does that mean? It means when the gradient is highest. So when the gradient of this line is highest, when the line is the steepest. We can see that it's steepest between 0 and 20. That's when the line is the steepest. So between which 2 times, it's going to be between 0 and 20 as the line is the steepest. So that is going to be why that's the time. Now, what about the greatest speed? How do we work out speed from a distance time graph? Do we know the formula? Speed is going to be equal to distance divided by time. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to choose 2 points on our line, and we're going to have to calculate the distance traveled and the time and do distance divided by time. So let's pick this point here, which is 0, 0. And we can also pick this point up here, which we can see is 20 across. So 20 across. And what about in the y direction if we read across? Well, I'm going to look at this. Shall I zoom in? Yeah, no, I won't. So halfway between the 200 and the 400 is going to be 300. So that's going to be 300. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes between 300 and 400. So a difference of 100 is 5 boxes. So each box is going to be 20. We can see that we are 2 boxes below the 400. So that's going to be 40 below the 400. So it's going to be 360 up. Now to work out our speed, we can do distance divided by time, or change in distance divided by change in time. Change in distance is 360. Change in time, 20 seconds. We type that into the calculator, and it's going to give us 18 meters per second. 18 meters per second. If you got that one, absolutely fantastic work. 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to, we're going to skip 11 because you need the paper printed out. And we're going to move on to question number 12, which is a 3 marker. Having a quick look at the chat. Any questions, let me know. Let's have a look. Okay. That's a great question. Mirage said, in your experience, what's the biggest jump in a math grade you've seen in a short amount of time? You would not believe, with proper revision, how much maths progress you can make in a short period of time. You can go from a grade 5 to a grade... So I would say the one which is kind of realistic for most is you can jump 2 grades in a week. You can jump 2 grades in a week. Jumping 3 grades is difficult. 4 grades is very difficult. Jumping 4 grades is a crazy achievement in a week or 2 weeks. So like that's like going from a grade 5 to a grade 9. It's quite unrealistic. It's possible, but it's unrealistic. It's a very special set of circumstances. Jumping 3 grades is very difficult, a 5 to an 8. Jumping 2 grades is very realistic. Very realistic. It's possible, don't get me wrong. Everything's possible. Everything's possible depending on the circumstances, but 2 grades is very realistic, guys. For example, if you joined every live I have this week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's 10 hours, 12 hours of past papers, and then you join Monday evening and Tuesday evening and do all of the streams, you're going to be doing like 10, 12 past papers. In a very short period of time, your grade is going to go through the roof very quickly. Okay. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready for this one, team. And we'll go through it. A couple of different ways to do it. Lexi says, what topic is this? This one, Lexi, is the interior or exterior angles in regular polygons. Let's see. A few different answers going in the chat. Gaming Galore, welcome. Good to have you. Question number 12, let's have a look. The question says that RS and ST are 2 sides of a regular 12-sided polygon. We're told that RT is a diagonal of the polygon. What does that mean? It just means it's a straight line which connects 2 points. We're asked to work out the size of angle STR. STR, well, that is going to be this angle here. How can we think about doing this? Well, if this is a regular 12-sided polygon, what does it mean? It means that all of the lengths are the same size. And what does that mean? It means that we have an isosceles triangle. So this is going to be an isosceles triangle. And the reason is because RS and ST are the same length. So this is going to be X. What does that mean? It means if we can work this angle out, then we can do 180 minus that angle and divide it by 2 to work out X. Let's get it done. How do we work out the interior angle of a regular polygon? There's a formula for the sum of all of the interior angles in a regular polygon. And that formula is n minus 2 times by 180. So this is the sum of all of the interior angles in a regular polygon. Then to get one of the angles, we can divide this by the number of sides, because that's going to be the same as the number of angles. So we find the sum of all of the angles and divide it by the number of angles to work out each of them. So we're going to sub in n equals 12 then. We're going to get 12 minus 2 times 180 over 12. I think that's going to be 150. So we're going to do 10 times 180 divided by 12. Hey, nice. So that's going to be 150. That's going to be 150. What does that mean, guys? It means that this angle here is 150. Where can we go from there? Well, we know, what about the angles in a triangle? We know they add to 180. So we can do 180 minus 150. That's going to give us 30. That's going to be this angle plus this angle. So 2x is equal to 30. Divide both sides by 2 on the calculator. X is going to be equal to 15. X is going to be equal to 15. 5 seconds to screenshot if we got this one. 5, 4, 3, or not if we got this one. I didn't mean if we got this one. I mean if we want to screenshot this one. 5, 4. Okay, good question, Mohammed. Mohammed says, so I found the exterior angle and subtracted it from 180 and then got an answer and divided it by 2 to find the answer. Yep, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. You can also do that. So the other way to do this would be to do 360 over n, which is going to be 360 over 12, which is going to be 30, to get the exterior angle, this angle here. And then you can do 180 minus that to get this angle here. So 2 different ways to do that. Good shout, Mohammed. Good shout. Okay, we're going to move on then now, guys, to question 13. 2 marks up for grabs in this one. Let's see what we can do. Gaming Law said, is this higher for the whole week or are you doing foundation too? I am going to be doing one of the sessions as foundation. I'm going to post it on social media later to announce which day. Probably I'm going to do Friday foundation. Probably I'm going to do Friday foundation and then Saturday, Sunday higher again. But I'm not sure yet. I'll confirm it. I'll confirm it. My pleasure, Gaming Galore. My pleasure. Guys, I'm getting a bit hot. I can't lie. I'm getting a little bit hot. Hasnain Assad said, sir, how do I pay you? I mean, if you're offering, if you want to make a donation, I think there's a little chat button at the bottom. There's like a little $sign that says show your support for my GCSE maths. And you can do a super chat or super sticker, I think. You can send a GIF in the chat. If you want to do that, you can. I would appreciate it very much. But yeah, that's how you could do it. Question number 13, team. Does anybody know the song? One of my favorite songs at the moment, Guagualada. That's what I have playing at the moment. I don't know how you pronounce it. Absolute banger. Okay, should we go through it? Drop ready in the chat when you're ready for me. And we're going to go through it. Question number 13. Noah's ready. Jonathan Alibi says, "Is it Nigerian?" It is Nigerian. Maybe I'll put the link in the chat if anybody wants it. Man like Lincoln, you in the chat. Come on, welcome. Okay, question number 13. Let's have a look, team. It says, at the beginning of 2009, Mr. Veal bought a company. The value of the company was £50,000. Each year, the value of the company increased by 2%. Calculate the value of the company at the beginning of 2017. Give your answer correct to the nearest £100. Guys, what are we going to do? Here we have compound interest. We have compound interest. We know that each year it's increasing by 2%, so it's going to increase by 2% of the previous amount each year. So we can set up an equation. What's our compound interest formula? There's a couple of different ones. I like to use this one. It is that the end amount is equal to the initial amount times by 1 plus r to the power of t, where r is the interest rate as a decimal, t is the number of time periods, I is the initial amount. So how are we going to do this one? The value of the company starts at £50,000. So we're going to do 50k times by 1 plus r. Interest rate is 2%. So we're going to convert that into a decimal, 0.02. So we're going to have 1 plus, oh, let me go back to blue. We're going to have 1 plus 0.02 raised to the power of the number of time periods. How many time periods? Well, from 2009 to 2017. So we can do 2017 minus 2009. That is going to be 8 years. So the power number of time periods is 8. And then we bring that into the calculator. 50,000 times 1.02 to the power of 8. That is going to be 58,582.96, etc. We want it correct to the nearest 100. What's it going to be to the nearest 100? We're going to have, this is our tens of thousands column, our thousands column, our hundreds column. So we look at the next number, it's an 8, so we round up. We're going to have 58,000. 5 is going to turn into a 6. Fill in the 2 placeholder zeros. 58,600. 58,600. If you got this one, absolutely amazing job. It's not the easiest question in the world, but I will say it's a very, very popular topic. It's a very popular topic for paper 2 and 3. So it's pretty much guaranteed to come up compound interest. 13B then, I would say, how many marks? 3. Let's have a quick read of it. The beginning of 2009, the value of a different company was 250K. In 6 years, the value of the company increased to 325,000. This is equivalent to an increase of X% each year. Find the value of X. I'm going to give a few moments for this one. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Let's see. And then after this, I'm going to check how many questions are in this paper. Faith says, what was the song called? Guys, I think at the end of today's session, I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A. I'm not sure how long the paper is. Looks like we're about halfway through. After this question, I'll see how long the paper is. Then we're going to do a little bit of a chilled out, bit of a Q&A at the end. And I'm going to share some of the music with you from today's stream. Because I know that's one of the most popular, most requested topics. We'll see what you guys think. Oh, God. Okay. Part B. Part B. Drop ready in the chat when you're ready for me. Easy, Javi. Oh, God. You're going to have to get a natural moment. Okay. What do we think, team? Are we ready? Okay, quite a few people ready. Uloma's ready. Good, Uloma. Good to have you on again. Okay. At the beginning of 2009, the value of a different company was 250,000. In 6 years, the value of this company increased to 325,000. So this time we're given the initial amount. So let's write it out again. So the end amount is equal to the initial amount times by 1 plus r raised to the power of t. So our initial amount this time is 250,000. So 250,000 times by 1 plus r. So it says this is equivalent to an increase of X% each year. So I'm going to firstly do X as a decimal, then just convert it into a percentage. So we have 250,000 times by 1 plus X raised to the power of T, our number of time periods, 6 years. And we know that the end amount is going to be equal to, 325,000. So now we actually have an equation which we can rearrange for X. Now I'm technically going to do it as Y just because it's more accurate. So I'm going to just do it as Y and then convert it at the end. So step number 1, let's divide both sides by 250,000. So divide by 250,000, divide by 250,000. And the reason we can do that is because we're currently multiplying by 250,000. So we're going to get 1 plus y to the power of 6 is equal to 325,000 divided by 250,000 is going to be equal to 1.3. 1.3. Next step, we're trying to isolate the y and get the y on its own. So we're going to move this power of 6. How do we move the power of 6? We're going to do the 6th root of both sides. So 1 plus y is going to be equal to the 6th root of 1.3. And then before I type this in, I'm just going to move the 1 plus as well. So we're going to minus 1 from both sides. We're going to have y equals the 6th root of 1.3 minus 1. Now this is going to give us our interest rate as a decimal. So we're going to do the 6th root of 1.3 minus 1. That is going to be 0.0446, etc. Next step, this is our answer as a decimal. We want it as a percentage. So this is a decimal. How do we convert to a percentage? We're going to do 0.0446, etc. Times by 100 to go from decimal to percentage. Times by 100, we're going to get 4.46. And the question does say to give our answer to two significant figures. Our first significant figure is going to be our 4. Our second significant figure is going to be our 4, our next 4. Our next one, our third, is going to be 6. So we look at the 6. We decide whether to round the 4 up or down because it's above 5 or 5 or above. We're going to round it up. We're going to get 4.5 as our answer. Guys, if you got that one, nicely done. 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And guys, actually, I'm going to answer any questions on this because I think there might be a few. Izan said, "Hi, sir. Please, could you tell me which past papers you're doing for the following live stream? Thank you." Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna plan this after this session, and then I will upload them all. I'll make an announcement of which paper on which day, and I will also put the links in the descriptions because I know a lot of people have asked for that. Mohammed says, "Please do the graphs question." I'm going to be doing it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Hassan says, "So what happens if I get shot before entering the exam?" You're going to have bigger problems in your GCSE maths if that happens. You're going to have bigger problems. Okay. Can't see any questions in the chat. So we're going to move on to question number 14. This one I will just go through because I know you need the paper printed out to do it. But I also know a lot of people struggle with this topic. So I'll go through it. Now I just need to do something first. There we go. Okay. The question says, on the grid, shade the region that satisfies all of these inequalities. So y is greater than 1, x plus y is less than 5, and y is greater than 2x. What are we going to do, guys? When we have a graphical inequalities question like this, there's a couple of steps. Step number 1, we're going to draw all of our lines on the graph. So we're going to have to sketch these lines on the graph. We're going to start off by swapping the inequalities for equals. That's going to help us just think about how to draw the line. Then we can decide whether we're going to shade above the line or below the line based on whether it's greater than or less than. Now, the next thing I want to quickly mention is when it comes to sketching graphical inequalities like this, when we don't have the or equal to sign, we dot the line. And when we have the or equal to sign, so if it was like this, we do a solid line. It's kind of like when you do it on a number line. When you have the or equal to, you fill the line in, or you fill the dot in. When you don't have the or equal to, you don't fill it in, right? So more ink on the page goes with more ink on the page. The extra line causes us to shade it in. And that's the same with sketching them. That's the same with sketching them. So first off, sketching the line y is greater than 1. We're going to start off by sketching y equals 1. That's going to be a horizontal line through y equals 1 on the graph. And then I'm going to dot it, which is a little bit of a cheat code way. I'm just going to dot it like this. And then we need to decide whether to shade above or below the line. Well, we need y is greater than 1, so we're going to shade above the line. And for now, I'm just going to draw a little bit along the line like this. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to rub all of those out. I'll mess this up a bit, but... And I'm just going to draw a little arrow. So we know that we need above the line. Next up, x plus y is less than 5. So we said we're going to sketch it with an equals to first. Whenever it comes to sketching a straight line, firstly, what we need to do is we need to rearrange it to the form y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. So here we're going to rearrange this. We're going to also swap the less than for equals just for now. It's going to be y equals minus x plus 5. When it comes to sketching a line like this, step number 1, we plot on the y-intercept. It's going to be 5 here. And then we use the gradient. So the gradient is -1 here because it's negative x. So we're going to start up there like this. 1 to the right, 1 down, 1 to the right, 1 down. And then we're going to dot it like so. So gradient was -1. So we went 1 unit right, 1 unit down, 1 unit right, 1 unit down. Now, we don't actually need this to be equal to it, we need y to be less than it, right? We need y to be less than it. So we're going to shade below this line. Next up, y is greater than 2x. Well, this is a line with m is equal to 2 and c is equal to 0. So we have a gradient of 2 and a y-intercept of 0. So we can, I didn't mean to do that. So y-intercept of 0 goes here. Gradient of 2, we go 1 unit to the right. So 1 unit to the right, 2 units up. 1 unit to the right, 2 units up. 1 unit to the right, 2 units up. And then we can join them all with a straight line. So I'm going to go like so. There we go. Now I'm going to dot this line like so. And then we need to decide above or below it. Well, we need y to be greater than 2x. So we're going to go above that line. Above that line. So above this line. So what is the region which is above y equals 1, below this one, and above this one? It's going to be this region here. That's my equivalent of shading. This is going to be the region that we want. I know that could have tripped a lot of people up. Let me know in the chat. If you didn't get that one, did it make sense? That guy says, what app is he using? This is Notability. Charlotte 26. I think a lot of people are asking what topic this is. This is graphical inequalities. Graphical inequalities. Farzana said that was intense. Ah, true. Shush said, but how is that region? Oh, my bad. Guys, yeah, we should label that R. That's what I meant to do. Aloma said, wait, can you say again how to know high part to shade? Yeah, absolutely. So because y is greater than 1, we go above it. Because y is less than x minus 5, we go below that line. And because y is greater than 2x, we go above that line. So it's all about whether the value of y is above the line or below the line. Okay, 5 seconds to screenshot, team. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to move on to question number 15. Are we going to do this one? Yeah, let's do it. Question number 15. Actually, before we do this, I'm going to just check how long's left. 23 questions. Yeah, I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. It's not going to take too long. Maybe I'll speed run a few questions. Okay. All right, all right, all right. What do we think, team? What do we think? Adam Osmani says, product rule for counting. You're absolutely right. Guys, drop ready in the chat when you're ready for me to go through it, and I'll go through it. Okay, Q15, let's have a look. The question says that Tracy is going to choose a main course and a dessert in a cafe. Tracy says, she can choose from 8 main courses and 7 desserts. Tracy says that to work out the number of different ways of choosing a main course and a dessert, you do 8 plus 7. Is Tracy correct? You have to give a reason for your answer. She's not correct, unfortunately. Why is Tracy not correct? This is our calculating combinations topic. We have to do 8 times by 7. 8 times by 7, which will be 56. And the reason there is basically that for each of the 8 main courses, we could choose 7 desserts. So we do 8 times by 7 because for each of those 8, there's 7 different options for the next one. Question 15b, let's have a look at this. It says 12 teams play in a competition. Each team plays each other team exactly once. Work out the total number of games played. This one is going to trip pretty much everybody up. Let's have a look. How are we going to do it? Well, if there are 12 teams playing, how each of those teams is going to play each of the other teams. So if there's 12 teams, if I'm one of the teams, how many different teams do I have to play? I have 11 teams to play because I'm one of the 12. And I have 11 teams to play because, yeah, I make up one of the 12, so there's 11 left. So we're going to do 12 times by 11. 12 times by 11 is going to be 132. I don't know why I started doing that on the calculator. It's going to be 132. Now, where do we go from there? Is that our final answer? It actually isn't. It actually isn't. Now, what's the reason that this is not the final answer? This is not the final answer because this assumes that, for example, A plays B, so like team A plays team B, and team B plays team A. So this is assuming that there are actually 12 different teams who each play 11 games, but that's not true. There's actually technically 6 teams who play 11 games because you don't have the repetition of people playing each other again. So what we have to do is we have to divide this number by 2. So we're going to do 132 divided by 2, which is going to give us 66, and that's going to be our answer. That would have tripped almost everybody up. Okay, we're going to move on to 16. I'm just going to go through it because I want to get through the whole paper, and I'm a bit conscious of the time. The question says, solve x minus 2 squared is equal to 3. Give your solutions correct to 3 significant figures. Now, there are 2 ways to do this. One is more direct, and the one that I'm going to do, one is less direct. You could expand these brackets. You're going to get x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 3. Then you could rearrange that to ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, then use the quadratic formula, and you're going to get an answer that way. However, it's going to be a better method if we just rearrange this. This is kind of in a little bit of a completed the square form, where all that we have to do is rearrange this. We can move the squared and then move the 2. What's the opposite to squaring the bracket? Well, we're going to square root both sides. So we're going to have x minus 2 is equal to the square root of 3. However, this is a quadratic. It has 2 solutions. We have to do plus or minus the square root of 3. Technically, there's 2 numbers which multiply by themselves to give 3. We have either the positive version of the square root of 3, which is going to be probably about 1.3 or something. Square root of 3, 1.73. So the positive version, but we also have the negative version. Next step, we're going to move the plus 2, or the minus 2, sorry, by plussing 2. And those are going to give us our 2 solutions. So now we do it once with a positive. So x is equal to root 3 plus 2. And once with a negative, x is equal to minus root 3 plus 2. We're going to type this into the calculator. The square root of 3 plus 2. That is going to be equal to 3.732. And if we do it with the negative version, we're going to get 0.267. And actually, I'm going to have to give another decimal place. 0.26794. Rounding both of these to 3 significant figures, then what are we going to get? Well, for the first case, these are going to be our first 3 significant figures. Look at the 2. So we round it down. It's going to be 3.73. And then rounding this one to 3 significant figures. These are the first 3, because the 0 doesn't count as a significant figure. So we look at the 9. Because it's 5 or above, we round up. We're going to get 2.68. And I'm just going to move all of this a teeny bit up. Let's go like that. That's a little bit nicer for us. So yeah, 0.268 and 3.73. If you got that one, team, really nicely done. 5 seconds to screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My bad, guys. Typo. You're right. My apologies. Thank you, chat. 0.268. That was just a typo. My bad. Thank you, Fodsena. Thank you, Ibby. Yeah, thank you to everybody who did that. Sorry, that was probably a bit confusing, guys. Yeah, just a little handwritten typo. So 0.268 it should have been. So the 0 doesn't count as a significant figure. First significant figure is the 2, second is the 6, third is the 7. We look at the 9 because it's 5 or above, we round up. Okay. Let's have a look. Question number 17. We're going to... Do you want me to do this, guys? Should I go through this one? Should we go through this? Okay, most people are saying skip it. Yeah, okay, most people are saying skip. Most people are saying skip. Okay, question 18. Let's have a look. I'm skipping it because not many people have the paper printed out. If people really want us to do it, then maybe we can go back at the end. Having a quick look at the chat. Okay, question 18. One mark up for grabs. Drop your answer in the chat when you're ready for this one for me, and we're going to go through it. What do we think? What do we think, team? Does anybody have an answer for this one? Ah. Okay, lots of different answers going in the chat, actually, and I've not seen the right one. Lots of answers going in the chat. The chat's a lot quieter today than normal. Yeah, good. That guy, nicely done, Solar. Yeah, good work, Mohammed. Good work, that guy. Good work, Fibbler. Yeah, good work, guys. Okay, question number 18. At t equals 0 hours, a tank is full of water. Water leaks from the tank. At the end of every hour, there is 2% less water in the tank than at the start of the hour. Okay, 2% decrease, 2% decrease. The volume of the water in liters in the tank at time t is Vt. Given that V0 is equal to 2000 and Vt plus 1 is equal to K times Vt, write down the value of K. I know a load of people are going to ask, so what topic is this? This is iteration. This is iteration. And if we break this down, what's this saying? This is saying, okay, if the amount at time 0, so basically at the start is 2000, the amount at the next time, so t plus 1, is going to be equal to K times the amount at the previous time Vt. So this is like saying to go from 0 to 1, you times by K, or to go from 10 to 11, or the 10th value to the 11th value, you also times by K. So what's the value of K? Well, we need, when we multiply the current value by K, for it to lead to a 2% decrease. So what's the percentage multiplier for a 2% decrease? So 2% decrease, that is the same as timesing by 0.98. So we could think of this as like 1 minus 0.02. So it gives us 0.98. Tough one to think about there. That's one of the least popular topics, to be honest. That's one of the least popular topics. If you got that one nicely done, what uncloaked content? Yeah, good work, guys. Good work. Question number 19. Now we're into the thick of it. 4 marks up for grabs in this one. Let's see what we can do. This topic, guys, is really good practice for a lot of different topics. Okay, I might stock. I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A at the end because I think we're going to finish a bit early. Actually, start Q&A. Actually, no. Let's leave it there for now. Let's leave it there for now. On that, because answer view questions. Okay, no. That would work. Okay, I'll do that for later. I'll do that for later. Okay, okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. Question number 19. Do you want me to just go through this one? Because I know it's a tough one. Or should I give you a bit more time? Okay. A lot of people saying to go through it. Okay, people asking for a bit of time. I'm going to give a bit of time. I'm going to give a bit of time. Intelligent Melon said, I'm not sure where to begin. Do you recommend drawing it? For anybody who is thinking about doing the question or wants to get it started during this next minute, I'm just going to say the entire method from start to finish, and then you can try and get going, and I'll start the question in about a minute. So step number one, let me just read it actually first. Okay, step number one, we're going to find the midpoint of PQ. So we're going to find point M. We're going to find point N. So by finding the midpoint, so we're going to add the two coordinates together, divide by 2. Next step, we need to show that they're parallel. What do we know about parallel lines? We know they have the same gradient. So we're going to find the gradient of Mn, the gradient of PR, and it should be the same. Okay, okay, okay. Javi, that's not going to be easy, man. Or woman. You can't assume. Okay, question 19. Ah, good, intelligent melon. Good, good, good. Okay, what are we going to do? Q19. Sorry, sorry, Javi. My bad, my bad. My bad. Okay. Good job, Mohammed. Okay, team, let's go. Question 19. What's it going to be? The question says a triangle has vertices P, Q, and R. The coordinates of P are -3, -6. The coordinates of Q are 1, 4. The coordinates of R are 5, -2. M is the midpoint of PQ. So step number one, I'm going to write this out clearly. So step number one, we're going to find point M. How do we find point M? Well, M is the midpoint of PQ. How do we find a midpoint? We add the two coordinates together and then divide by 2. So the two x coordinates is going to be -3 and 1. So we're going to do -3 plus 1, divide it by 2. And then the two y coordinates is -6 and 4. So we add those together and divide it by 2. What's that going to be the same as? Well, -3 plus 1 is -2, divide 2 is -1. Then we're going to get -6 plus 4 is -2, divide 2 is -1. So M is the point -1, -1. What about the point N? So find point N. What's the point N going to be? I'm just going to move that down a little bit. There we go. That's going to be the midpoint of QR. So we're going to add these two coordinates together again and then divide by 2. So for the x coordinate, we're going to do 1 plus 5, which is 6. Well, I'll write it out properly. 1 plus 5. Oh, 1 plus 5 over 2. And then for the y coordinate, 4 plus -2. So just 4 minus 2, divide 2. 1 plus 5 is 6, divide 2 is 3. 4 minus 2 is 2, divide 2 is 1. So 3, 1. Next step, you prove that the point that MN is parallel to PR. What do we know about parallel lines? Parallel means they have the same gradient. Parallel is same gradient. So we find next the gradient of MN. Oh, uh, yeah, Mn. How do we work out gradient, guys? Gradient is going to be change in y divided by change in x. So change in y divided by change in x between 2 points. So in this case, what are we going to have? Well, the gradient of Mn, going from M to N, from -1 to 3, we minus 4. So -1 to 3, we -4. And then -1 to 1, we +2. -4 over 2, you can type that into the calculator. It's just -2. So m to n is -2. Guys, made a silly mistake. Made a silly mistake. My bad. Changing y divided by changing x. Did anybody notice? Please tell me someone noticed. Yeah, good job, Fodzana. Yeah. Silly mistake on my end. My bad, guys. So changing y divided by changing x should be, the change in y is obviously the second one, because these are the y coordinates. So changing y from -1 to 1, we add 2. Changing x from -1 to 4, we +4. Little silly mistake. So -1/2. And you can see, guys, you can see that it's super easy to make silly mistakes. It's super easy to make silly mistakes. Okay, now what about the gradient of PR? So that's going to be the final step for the gradient of PR. Again, we're going to do change in y divided by change in x. We're going to do change in y divided by change in x. Change in y divided by change in x. From P to R, we go from -3 to 8. So that's going to be adding 8. And then in the y direction, we go from P to R, -6 minus -2, or from -6 to -2. What do? We add 4. Oh, guys, I've done the same thing again. Oh, my bad, my bad. Can you tell I'm a little bit tired? So changing y divided by changing x. So changing y, we go from -6 to -2, so we +4. Changing x, we go from -3 to 8, so we add 8. That's my bad. So 4 divided by 8, again, is going to be a half. So there we go. Both of them are a half. Now, we can see that one of them is -1/2 and the other one is a half. That's just because they're going in the other direction. Just because they're going in the other direction. Okay. Wait. Have I made another silly mistake? Guys, I have made a silly mistake. This class as well. Okay, yeah, I have made a silly mistake. So it would have been changing y is +2, changing x is +4, so it's a half. Yeah, guys, sorry about that. Yeah, you're right, Fibbler. Well done for noticing that. Well done for noticing that. Guys, I did I did make a couple of silly mistakes on that question. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. Let me know. I'm going to stick on this one for a few moments to answer any questions, because I'm aware that could have been a bit confusing. Fibbler says, I was so confused the whole time, lol. Yeah, my bad, guys, my bad. So changing y divided by changing x. I'm a little bit tired at this part of the stream. So sorry. Intelligent Melon said, even with the mistakes, it still made sense. Yeah, awesome, awesome. Okay, guys, we're going to move on to question number 20. 5 marks up for grabs in this one. It's a big one. 5 marks up for grabs. And the reason they were parallel there was because they had the same gradient. They had the same gradient. If anyone wants me to go back to that question at the end, by the way, I absolutely will, because I hope I didn't confuse anybody. Fibbler says they can keep those 5 marks. Intelligent Melon said, are we given area of a sector? You're actually not given area of a sector. That's one that you're still not given. You're still not given. Okay. Question 20. I'm going to give a few minutes for this one, and then we're going to go through it. Not many questions left now, team. Let's put in a good final push, and then we can call it a day for today. It's been a very good session so far. Javi said, leave maths and do a Q&A, I beg. I'm going to do it at the end. I'm going to do it at the end. Just because I know a lot of people have questions at this stage. And I want to make sure they don't overflow the chat when we're working. So I want to kind of have it there for that reason. Okay. Question 20. Definitely a tough one. It's definitely a problem-solving one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start working it out without saying anything, or I'm going to give some hints on the screen just to let people get into this question because it is a tough one. So the question says OAC is a sector of a circle centered at the origin, or center O, sorry, and radius 10. BA is a tangent to the circle at point A. Okay. As soon as I see tangent of a circle, I'm thinking circle theorems. And I'm also thinking what happens with a tangent where it meets a radius, meets at 90 degrees, right? So what does that mean? That means that this angle here, where the tangent meets a radius, is going to be 90 degrees. And same with this one here. Angle AOC is 120, fair enough. Calculate the area of the shaded region. How can we do this? Well, the area of the shaded region is going to be the area of the whole shape. So let's just write it up here. So shaded region is going to be equal to the total area minus the sector area. So the question is basically to work out the area of the sector, work out the total area, and then do the subtraction, How can we work out the total area? I'm going to give a hint as to how to do this, which is that's my hint for now. And Shush says, I'm locking in for this question. Come on, come on. Let's get it done. Ibby says, I see. Dex says, oh, I'm glad I did that little hint. Maybe I'll do that a bit more in the future with the long ones. Maybe I'll drop a few more hints because it'll give like a way into the question. Uloma said, I understand it now. Fatsana said, that makes it easier. Wonderful, guys. So sick. Mirage says, so-called Toa. You're absolutely right. Fibler says, is it the sine rule or nah? It's not the sine rule. We have a right angle triangle. Mamsie says, is this grade 9? I would say this is probably a grade 8, high grade 8 question. Maybe grade 9. Yeah, Javi, can you stop stop asking people your name in the chat or asking people to guess your name? Okay. So, next step, how can we work out the total area? Well, to work out the total area, we're going to work out the area of one of the triangles, and then we're going to double it. How can we work out the area of one of the triangles? Well, we know the area of a triangle is a half times by the base times by the height. This 10 can be our base, and this side here can be our height if we're able to work it out. So the question becomes, how can we work out that height? Well, if we redraw this, we can think of it as a right angled triangle, which looks something like this. We have an angle down here of 60. We have a side down here of 10. Opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. I'll switch color. So, car, toa. We have the adjacent. We want the opposite. Let's call it x for now because there's no other x's. Good. Which one are we going to use? Well, we want the opposite. We have the adjacent. We're going to use toa. So tan 60 is equal to our opposite x divided by our adjacent 10. Next step, to find the value of x, we can times both sides by 10. We're going to get x is equal to 10 times tan 60. I'm going to bring that into the calculator. 10 times tan 60, we're going to get 10 root 3. And just for now, I'm going to leave it in that form. 10 root 3. Okay, very cool. So now we know this length here is 10 root 3. which means this length here is 10 root 3. Next step, how do we work out the area of a triangle? It's half times by base times by height. So we can do, where am I going to do this to make it as clear as possible? Let's do it over here. So we're going to have a half times by the base, which is 10, times by the height of 10 root 3. If we type that into the calculator, that's going to be 50 root 3. So now we have the area of one of the triangles. To work out the area of both triangles, so area of both triangles, that's going to be two lots of this. So 2 times 50 root 3. It's going to be 100 root 3. Now, how are we going to work out the shaded area? We need to subtract the area of this circle. How do we work out the area of a circle sector? Well, we can use the fact that the area of a sector, so area of a sector, is equal to our angle divided by 360 times by pi r squared. Now, why is that? That's because this tells us what fraction of the circle we have. So we have 120 3/60ths of the circle. So we need that fraction of the overall area. So we're going to do 120 over 360 times pi times 10 squared. 10 squared is going to be 100 pi over 3. I'll check it on the calculator just to be sure. But yeah, okay. Okay, beautiful. 100 pi over 3. So this is the area of the sector. Final step, we need to find the difference. We need to find the difference. So we're going to subtract the area of the sector from the area of both triangles. So we're going to do our 100 root 3 minus our 100 pi over 3. We're going to bring that into the calculator. 100 root 3 minus fraction 100 pi over 3. We type it into the calculator. What are we going to get? We're going to get 68.48, etc. The question said to 3 sig fig, so it's going to be 68.5. Whoosh. What do we think, team? How was that one? That was a long one, eh? Long one? Let's see. Looking at the chat. What's it going to be? Oh, TikTok. Shush said, why is the TikTok so far ahead? Maybe some people are running with some lag on the, not lag, some delay on the YouTube. Guys, we're going to do a quick clap test. Can you please get ready to type clap in the chat whenever you hear me clap? Whenever you hear me clap. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, clap. Drop it in there for me as soon as you hear it. Intelligent Melon got it. Jay got it. Okay. Oh, thank you, guys. That was very good. Hey, loads of people did that. That was sick, eh? Yeah, nice. Okay, thank you, everybody. So there is not a delay on the stream. There is not a delay on the stream. If you're finding, if you have it open on TikTok and YouTube at the same time, if you're finding you have a bit of a delay on the channel, just refresh the stream quickly and it should pull you back up to the start. Yeah, yeah. Okay, couple of people asking me to scroll down to screenshot. Let's do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we will move on now to question 21. How many questions left? 22, 23. Are we going to do them all? Yeah, we're not doing too bad for time. Okay, question 21. Question 21, I'm just going to go through, and then we can do 22 and 23 properly, because they're both more important. Okay, question 21. Let's have a look. Mohammed says, what's the final answer? 68.5. 68.5. Okay, question 21. What's it going to be? The question says there are 12 counters in a bag. There is an equal number of red, blue, and yellow counters. So there's going to be 4 of each, right? Because 12 divided by 3 would be 4. 3 counters are taken at random from the bag. Work out the probability of taking 3 red counters. So we want the probability of a red counter, another red counter, and another red counter. When we find the probability of one thing and another thing, what do? We times those probabilities together. So we're going to do we times those probabilities together. So we're going to do the probability of red on the first pick times the probability of red on the second times the probability of red on the third. Now, what's the probability of red on the first pick? Well, there are 4 red counters and 12 counters in total, so it's 4 over 12. Now, it doesn't say anywhere that he puts them back in. So what are we going to assume? Well, we're going to assume that now we have how many counters in the bag? We had 12, we took 1 out, so now there's 11. What about red counters? There was 4. We took 1 red counter out, so now there's going to be 3 red counters. Now, following the same logic on the third pick, we're going to pick another red counter out, so we're only going to have 2 left. There's only going to be 10 counters left in total. We're going to do this multiplication. 4 over 12 times 3 over 11 times 2 over 10. It's going to give us 1 over 55. 1 over 55. If you got that one, well done, guys. Very I'm going to say, just going to quickly change this to orange. And I'm going to say, just quickly writing the name of the topic on the screen. This one is conditional probability. Also known as probability without replacement. Okay. Next up, it says 3 counters are put back into the bag, or the 3 counters. Some more counters are now put into the bag. There is still an equal number of red, blue, and yellow counters in the bag. There are no counters of any other color in the bag. 3 counters are taken at random from the bag. Is it now less likely or more likely that all 3 will be red? You must show how you get your answer. What we can do, guys, is we can actually do this by just testing with an example. So let's say that there were 4 of each. Let's say there's now 5 of each. So let's say we have 5 red, 5 blue, and 5 green. Was it red, blue? Oh, no, it was yellow, right? Red, blue, and yellow. We can redo this using exactly the same logic. So it's going to be 5 over 15 times 4 over 14 times 3 over 13. And the logic there is exactly the same as before. I'm going to type that into the calculator. 5 over 15 times 4 over 14 times 3 over 13. And we're going to get 2 over 91. 2 over 91. So is it more or less likely? Well, 1 over 55. Let's convert them both into decimals to make them easier to compare. So 2 over 91 is equal to 0.0219, etc. And the previous one was 1 over 55. 1 divided 55 decimal is 0.2. Oh, sorry. Wait, did I type this in wrong? 1 divided 55. Good. That's more like it, 0.018. So we can say it is now more likely. Why? Because that probability has increased from 0. Have I written it in? Oh, guys, I wrote it in. There we go. I didn't write the 0 in there. I think I said the 0 when I read it out. So 0.0181818. There we go. Yeah, good job, Intelligent Melon. Yeah. Just forgot to write it in. Okay, beautiful. Any questions in the chat? Thank you, NJ, by the way, for holding things down. Next up, guys, question number 22. This is our second to last question of the paper. Second to last question. Let's see what we can do. We have 5 marks up for grabs. It's a long one. HZ says, Matt, thank you. Understood it a lot. Fantastic. They're my favorite comments, guys. My favorite comments out of all of them. The door just blew open, guys. I'm just going to go and shut it real quick. My favorite comments out of all of them is not people just getting all the questions right. My favorite comments out of all of them is actually when you didn't get it, but then it makes sense after I went through it. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're here, trying to improve. Okay, Q22, Q22. A couple of people saying, thank you, Mirage, very, very much. I got a lot of you guys commenting on the green screen range, and I'll show you at the end. Maybe we can go through that in the Q&A. I'm gonna go live for a bit longer than 3 o'clock. We're gonna go through this question in a sec. Bonbon says, "I love functions, but this is extreme." Yeah, this is tough, eh? Drop ready in the chat, guys, when you're ready, and we'll go through it. It says the functions f and g. How many marks? 5. 5 marks. Bingo. Okay, guys, I know a lot of you don't know how to do this one. A lot of you don't even know where to start. Make sure you listen to this one really carefully, and please let me know at the end. If it makes sense after I go through it, then let me know in the chat, because it's a big achievement. Okay, question 22. The functions f and g are such that f of x is equal to 5x plus 3, and g of x is equal to ax plus b, where a and b are constant. So this is a bit annoying, right? Because they've told us the function f, but they've given us the function g in terms of, a couple of different letters, which ultimately we have to work out. We're told that g of 3 is equal to 20, and the inverse function f of 33 is equal to g of 1. Then we're asked to find the value of a and the value of b. As soon as we're given two different pieces of information like this, I'm instantly thinking simultaneous equations. I'm thinking simultaneous equations. So how am I going to set these up? First off, I know that g of 3 is equal to 20. So I'm going to sub 3 into my function g and set that equal to 20. So we know g of 3 is equal to, we're going to swap our x for 3. So we're going to have a times by 3, which is just going to be 3a plus b. So actually, let me write that little teeny bit more clearly. So it's going to be equal to a times x, so a times 3 plus b, which is 3a plus b. Now we know that this g of 3 is equal to 20. So we can say that this 3a plus b is equal to 20. So 3a plus b is equal to 20. Now this is going to form one of our simultaneous equations, and hopefully we're going to end up with another equation which we can then solve with it. So next up, we're told that f to the minus 1 of 33 is equal to g of 1. So let's work out f to the minus 1 of 33. Step number 1, let's work out the inverse function of f. The inverse function of f. There's two different ways you could do this. I personally prefer to find the inverse first, and it's better for learning as well. So how do we do that? To find the inverse function, I'll just write it here. So find f to the minus 1 of x. So we're going to set y equal to our function 5x plus 3. Then we're going to rearrange it to make x the subject. So we're going to minus 3 from both sides. Y minus 3 is equal to 5x. Then we're going to divide both sides by 5. We're going to get y minus 3 over 5 is equal to x. Next step, to find our inverse function, what do? Well, we just swap our x for f minus 1 of x and our y for x. So we're going to have f minus 1 of x is equal to x minus 3 over 5. Now that we've got our inverse function of f, we can swap our x for 33 to find f to the minus 1 of 33. So f to the minus 1 of 33, we're going to sub 33 into our equation. We're going to have 33 minus 3 over 5. 33 minus 3 is 30 over 5 is 6. Now we know that this is equal to g of 1. So we're going to find g of 1 as well. So let's write that down. I'll move that one. And then let's find g of 1. So g of 1 is going to be equal to, we're going to sub 1 in there. That's going to be equal to ax plus b. X is 1, so it's just going to be a plus b. So our second equation then, because we know that f to the minus 1 of 33 is equal to g of 1, is going to be that 6, which is f to the minus 1 of 33, is equal to a plus b. So a plus b is equal to 6. Now that we have this, guys, we have our two simultaneous equations. 3a plus b is equal to 20, and a plus b is equal to 6. So now we're going to solve these as simultaneous equations, and we're going to see what we get. So we have 3a plus b is equal to 20. A plus b is equal to 6. Next step, we're going to minus the second equation from the first equation. We have a match with our b's, so we can just take them away. 3a minus a is going to be 2a. B minus b is going to be 0. 20 take 6 is going to be 14. So 2a is going to be equal to 7. Sorry, 2a is going to be 14. So a is going to be equal to 7. Next step, to find the value of b, we're going to sub that back in. So where can we sub that into? Let's choose this one. We know a plus b is 6 and a is 7. So we can say 7 plus b is equal to 6. Minus 7 from both sides. B is equal to -1. So we have our two answers now. It's going to be that a is equal to 7 and b is equal to -1. That is going to be our answer to this one, guys. Absolutely fantastic job if you're still with me. If that one made sense, beautiful, beautiful work. God's Grace says, I'm finally cooking. Come on, come on. Good to see. Um, Intelligent Melon said, I would have never thought to have done simultaneous equations. Thanks for explaining it so clearly. Hey, my pleasure. My pleasure. Glad it made sense. Jay said, I now understand. Bon said, that makes sense now. Vampire Sight said, thank you. Vatsana says, yay. Awesome. Yeah, good job, HZ. Man like Fibbler says, that was light work. Let's go. Come on. Guys, fantastic job if you got that. It's a very difficult question. Second to last question in the paper. Let's go through our final one then. Question 23. Yeah, that is the final one. Then I'm going to stick around for a little bit of a Q&A, and then we'll call it a day. That guy said fun Q. To be honest, if you got it, that one was a fun Q. If you're not going to do this question, if you're just going to wait for me to go through it, I'm going to ask for a gentle reminder of leaving the reviews. I said it a few times on the last live, but I really want to keep doing the free social media lives. The only way I'm going to be able to keep doing it for free is if they get big enough. And eventually, hopefully, we can get a sponsor on the stream. I think that would be very cool. And you guys can let me know. That would be fun in the Q&A at the end. If we could get a stream sponsor, who would it be? And we can try and set that up. Get like some kind of stream sponsor, because I want to keep doing it for free. I want to keep doing it for free. One of the ways is going to be if I can land a sponsor. The second way is going to be if I can get these reviews. So if you haven't already, please use the link in the that's pinned. It's the link to leave a Google review. Somebody earlier left a 2-star review saying very bad £1 fish or something. So if somebody can, or if as many people as possible can leave a review to pull that up and counteract that 2-star, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. If you want to do it after this stream, though, if you want to keep focusing for now, that's also cool. Jay said, I have a company that can sponsor you. Give me your details. We can talk. That's very exciting, eh? That's very exciting. The email address, or the best email address to email would be matt@mygcsemaths.com. That's a purely work email. So like anybody using that email to email me, like that's okay, but I'm not gonna be able to respond to everybody. But yeah, yeah, if you actually do, then maybe Matt at mygcsemaths. .com. Question 23. Final question of the day. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Let's see what we can do. Ah, that's so nice to hear, HC. That's so nice to hear. Okay. All right. Question 23. What's it going to be? It says S is a geometric sequence. Given that root x minus 1, 1, and root x plus 1 are the first three terms of S, find the value of x, you must show all of your working. What's a geometric sequence, guys? This is where we multiply by the same thing each time. So multiply by same thing from term to term. So for example, 2, 6, 18, 30, 24, 54 would be a geometric sequence where each time we times by 3. Now, how can that help us, that knowledge? Well, it means that we have to have a common ratio. We have to have a common ratio. In other words, what we times this by to get 1 has to be the same as what we times 1 by to get root x plus 1. Now, to get the common ratio, what we can do is we can divide a term by the previous term. So like 6 divided by 2 is 3. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 54 divided 18 is 3. So what does it mean? Well, it means that when we divide the middle term or the second term by the first term, it has to be the same as when we divide the third term by the second term. In other words, 1 divided by root x minus 1 has to be equal to root x plus 1 divided by 1. So the second term divided by the first term has to be the same as the third term divided by the second term. Now we have an equation which we can rearrange and solve for x. Root x plus 1 over 1 is just root x plus 1. So I'm going to, I'll do this in 2 lines. So we have 1 over root x minus 1 equals root x plus 1. Now we're going to get rid of this off the bottom of the fraction. So we're going to times both sides by root x minus 1. So we're going to have 1 equals root x plus 1 times root x minus 1. We're going to have 1 equals. Now we're going to have to solve this and see what we get. We're going to do root x times root x is just x. That's root x squared. Root x times minus 1 is minus root x. 1 times root x is plus root x. 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. Root x plus root x are going to cancel each other out. So we're going to have 1 equals x minus 1. Add 1 to both sides. X is equal to 2. X is equal to 2. And that's going to be our answer to that one, guys. Very tough question. Final question of the day, the part A. Now, what about our part B? What about our part B? Show that the fifth term of S is 7 plus 5 root 2. There's not going to be a nice way to do this. We're just going to have to brute force it. So, what do we know? Well, actually, I'm not giving you any time for this. I'll give you a bit of time. Okay, 2 minutes is all I'm going to get. How many marks is it? Yeah, two marks. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do this one, and then we will go through it. Show that the fifth term is 7 plus 5 root 2. Mirage said, what is the name of this topic? This is a really tough one, to be honest. This is going to be geometric sequences. And it's like geometric sequences problem solving. You could call it like high level or grade 9 geometric sequences, or algebraic geometric sequences is another way of thinking about it. Okay, I'm going to give a hint. The hint is what we want to do is we want to work out the term-to-term rule. So how do we get from root x minus 1 to 1? How do we get from 1 to root x plus 1? Well, we know that to get from 1, let me actually do that in orange. To get from 1 to root x plus 1, we times by root x plus 1. We also now know that x is 2. So we can say the term-to-term rule, so term-to-term rule is times by root 2 plus 1. The term-to-term rule is to times by root 2 plus 1. Shall I just go through it, guys, or do you want a bit more time? Let me know in the chat, team. Shall I just go through it? Ibby says one more min. Intelligent Melon says bit more time. Okay, guys. A couple of people want a bit more time. I'm going to give another 30 seconds, then I'm going to go through it. Okay. What do we know? I should have really left this a bit higher up. But we know that the third term is root 2 plus 1. So the third term is root 2 plus 1. We also know that the common ratio is root 2 plus 1. So if the third term is root 2 plus 1, and the common ratio is root 2 plus 1, the fourth term is going to be root 2 plus 1 times by root 2 plus 1. We can calculate this. We're going to have to expand our double brackets. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. Root 2 times 1 is root 2. 1 times root 2 is root 2. 1 times 1 is 1. We simplify this. 2 plus 1 is 3. Root 2 plus root 2 is 2 lots of root 2. Final step, team, of the final question of the day. Well, to go from the fourth term to the fifth term, we're going to have to times by root 2 plus 1 again. So we're going to have 3 plus 2 root 2 times root 2 plus 1. Let's go ahead and get this done. 3 times root 2 is 3 root 2. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 root 2 times root 2. I'm going to do this in 2 steps. It's going to be 2 times 1 on the outside is 2. Then 4 in the middle, because 2 times 2 is 4 in the middle. Plus 2 root 2 times 1. That is going to be 2 root 2. Final step, team. Let's bring these together. Let's get the job done. 3 root 2 plus 2 root 2 is 5 root 2. 2 root 4. The square root of 4 is 2. Times by 2 is 4. Plus 3 is 7. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is going to be our final question of the day. Final question of the day. Definitely a grade 9 question. If you got it, congratulations. Very good job. Nicely done. If you didn't get it, please do not stress. Please do not stress. Very difficult question at the end, even if it made no sense low key. Okay, guys, that is going to be our final question of the day. Before everybody leaves, a couple of different things. Number one, I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A, so stick around for that if you want to ask me any questions. I'm going to go a little bit through the music as well, because that's been highly requested. Number two, at the end of each of these sessions, we're going to throw a little party. We're going to throw a little party. Now, what does that mean? It means that we're going to all spam the chat full of as many emojis as we can. Now, I know there's a 5-second delay, so what that means is make sure you put a bunch of emojis in each message and then copy and paste it. And then every 5 seconds, hit like paste and enter, paste and enter, paste and enter. Why do we do this, guys? We've just finished a 2-hour session. We finished a 2-hour session. It's the middle of GCSEs. Roughly half of the exams are down. For some of you, you have a few more than half left. For some of you, you have a few less than half left. However, either way, we've been through a tough initial period, And this is kind of the recuperation period in the middle. This is a time where we get back to center. It's a time where we put in our good revision ahead of the next papers. Lots of time is spent revising, not much time is spent appreciating the revision and the effort and the work that we're actually putting in. The party at the end of the session is a little bit of like a moment to appreciate the work that we're putting in. A little bit of a moment to appreciate the work that we're putting in. So guys, spam the chat full of as many emojis as we can. We want dancer emojis, disco emojis. I can't see anyone putting the emojis in the chat at the moment. Normally, we get good emojis in the chat. Okay, Faith is in there, Zero's in there. Love to see it. Guys, spam the chat full of as many emojis as we can. Yeah, man like Hassan in the chat says the goal. Come on, come on. Good to have you, mate. Guys, it's really important. It's really important to appreciate the work that you're putting in. If you're spending the time revising, it's important to spend the time appreciating the effort as well. The other part of this is I would like you to, it sounds cheesy, but I'm going to do it and I'm going to look very silly. If nobody else does it, well, you can't see what anybody else is doing. But guys, give yourself a little pat on the back for the effort. And if you do it, well, I swear, if you do this, you will feel good inside. Your stomach, you'll get a nice feeling and you'll be like, okay, guys, we're out here putting the work in. Now, I'm going to be doing this every single day, apart from Wednesday this week. So today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every day, same place, same time. So you can actually think of this as all of your math revision for the break, which is kind of nice. That's why I wanted to do it this way. I'm going to be live Monday evening. I'm going to do 2 lives, 5 till 6 or 5 till half 6, 7 till half 8 probably, but I'll confirm it. And I'm going to be live all night on Tuesday as well. I'm going to be live all night on Tuesday as well. Okay, which for anybody who doesn't know is the day before. It's the day before. Okay, I'm just going to go in. We see Intelligent Melons partying, Joe's partying, Farsana's partying, Zero's partying, Mohammed's partying, Noah's partying, Yasmin's partying. Adam, if you send me an email, I'll get back to you. Sorry about that. It should be okay. Should be working. We can maybe try resetting your password. Mirage is partying. Daisy's partying. Bonbon's partying. Instant Melon's partying. Javi says, I hate spamming. Javi, unfortunately, it's a time for spamming. It's a time for spamming. What does mogging mean? Hopefully it's not some kind of bad word, but Farzana, Vampire Site, Joe, Milsa, Hassan's still partying. Love to see it, man. Vampire Site's partying. Tyler's partying. Valili's partying. Joe says game over. Okay. Guys, that is where we are gonna call it a day for today in terms of the maths. So if you're only here for the maths, then absolutely feel free to call it a day. I'm going to be back here at the same time tomorrow. We're going to be doing another paper. If you want to stick around for the Q&A, I don't know how long this is going to last. Probably only a few minutes, to be honest. But yeah, if you do want to stay around, then feel free to ask any questions, just because I know there's been a lot in the chat. So yeah, let me know. Hey, Farsana, you're very welcome. Thank you. Actually, guys, I'm just going to have a quick look at the TikTok chat because I've not looked for a long, long time. Just check it's all still up and running. Okay. M said, thanks, sir. It helped me. My pleasure. M Otun says, party. Come on. Nikki's partying. Sadia's partying. Hey, awesome. Awesome. Hello, Leia. Hello, Hattie. Hello, Kieran. Hey, awesome, guys. Awesome. Fantastic job today. Okay, let's get the tunes back on. Okay. HZ says, thank you, Matt. Get a good rest. Hopefully you can't tell. I'm a little bit tired, low key. Joe said, just left a review. Oh, yeah, guys. If you didn't actually do it, if you haven't done it yet, I'd really appreciate it if you can. I'd really appreciate it if you can leave a review. So there's 130 of us. I know definitely not everybody's left a review. But if some of you could, it would be amazing. Like I said earlier, thank you, Vampire Site. Thank you, Joe. Somebody left a 2-star review saying something about £1 fish or rubbish £1 fish, and that pulls the averages down a lot, like one negative review does. So yeah, if anybody can leave a positive review, that'd be amazing. Kira says, where is the review link? It's pinned in the chat, or it should be pinned in the chat. I can copy and paste it in the chat again. Thank you, Farsana. Thank you, Lily Lily. Noah said, can you tell us the music, please, sir? Yeah, absolutely, guys. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Shall I make a playlist? Shall I make a my GCSE maths playlist? I can maybe do that tonight. Because the thing is, if I had it my way, I would be playing music on the lives, but I can't do it because of copyright, right? So if I did make a playlist, would anybody join it? If I set it to public? Yeah, a lot of people saying to make it. I know that's been requested a lot in the past. Okay, lots of people saying playlist. Yeah, 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 yeah. uh, okay, HD says make it after you rest. Guys, I'm gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna do it tonight. Let me just put it on my list of things to do. Uh, it's gonna be a mainly Afro beats playlist. NJ said, Matt, what genre of music do you like? To be honest, I like all genres of music. Maybe not all, the only genre, honestly, out of every single one that I don't really like is rock, to be honest. I know that might wind some people up. Um, but literally, even like, so during the streams, I normally listen to Afro beats because I like the energy. It gives good vibes, gives me energy. Afro beats, but I'm also like a bit of R&B kind of, yeah, that kind of stuff. Bit of Amy Winehouse. Anything like from Chasing Status all the way up to Adele. For anybody who knows who Chasing Status or Shy FX or any of those, it's like drum and bass music, all the way up to like Adele, Amy Winehouse. I've been listening to a lot of what's his name? Ben Howard, unbelievable recently. Also a bit of not recommended, but a bit of techno house. There's a DJ on YouTube called Chris Luno. Um, Faith says, where can we find the playlist? I'm going to put it in the chat tomorrow. I'm going to put a link in the chat tomorrow to the Spotify. Okay. Oh, that's funny, Lily. Bonbon said Bollywood. Okay, Bollywood is also a genre which I've not really listened to. Although there is a Punjabi MC drum and bass remix, which is unbelievable. Oh. Benson Boone, to be honest, I'm not so much into. Even a bit of country. I don't mind a little bit of country every now and again. A little bit of Florida Georgia Line. Gabba, I don't know. Couple of people saying, have you ever played World of Warcraft? I can't say that I've played World of Warcraft. Vampire Site said it's like Rave. Ray, she's another good artist, actually. Afrobeats wise, to be honest, Burna Boy is still probably unmatched. I know it's a very kind of mainstream popular opinion, but Burna Boy is genuinely unmatched. Davido, very good. Feels very good. Um, who else have I been listening to? A Sharkey, to be honest. Sharkey is very good. Okay. Javi said I love Central C. Not really my vibe. He's got a couple of tunes which I can't help but say they're very good. I really don't want to like it. It's a little bit guilty pleasure music for me. But he has got a couple of tunes, low key. Mamzi says Davido or Vibes Cartel. I'm gonna go Davido. I'm gonna go Davido. Farzana said Arctic Monkeys. Yeah, Arctic Monkeys. Little indie band that not many people know about. It's called Cassia. Cassia of really, really good. Really good. I saw them at a festival a few years ago. And ever since seeing them live, really good. Like Cassia. Um, ooh, Vampire Sight. That's a good shout. Says, do you like Mac DeMarco? Mac DeMarco, very, very good music. Very good music. Valili said the Beatles. You know, to be honest, Valili, one thing I've not listened to too much is like the 70s, 80s. I've listened to a lot of 90s, but 70s, 80s bands like Queen, Rolling Stones, all of those guys. I've not really listened to them that much. Um, Vampire Sight, I gotta say that's on top music taste. Mac DeMarco is very good. He's got a video of like a live performance walking through the street in Japan, and it's just awesome. Okay. The song on now, for example, for anybody who wants to listen to it to know what I'm listening to during the stream. Uh, is this. Very kind of chilled out Afro beats. Very chilled out Afro beats. Shake it to the max. Let me put it on. Let me see if it's. If you guys are trolling me, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be impressed. Oh, I've seen. Yeah, I've seen the. I've heard this tune before. I can't say it's in the top. Um. Yeah. I can't back that, unfortunately. Uh. Forever Young is an absolute tune. Oh nah, HZ. No, no, no. It can't be. It can't be. Okay, guys. It's just got very dark where I am. I think the clouds just went in. I'm gonna say hasta la vista for now. I'm gonna say hasta la vista for now. Guys, I'm gonna be back 1 p.m. tomorrow. We're gonna be doing another live 1 till 3. Until then, have a fantastic rest of the day. Good luck with any other revision you do. If you're chilling for the rest of the day, enjoy chilling. And we're going to be back same time, same place tomorrow, 1 till 3. Valili says, see y'all tomorrow. Vampire Site, bis später. Lily says, au revoir. NJ, bye everyone. Uloma says, get better taste. HZ says, bye Matt. Adios, my friend. Glue says, absolutely unsinkable. Vampire Site says, bis bald. Adios, May. Adios, Uloma. Speedruns and Trick says, bye. Goodbye. Milsa, goodbye. Lily says, listen to some rock now. Green Day I can get behind. And Stereophonics, if you class that as rocks. Actually, there's a certain type of rock that I like, but I'll disclose that tomorrow. Okay, guys, I'm going to say ciao, ciao. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of the day.